हैम्पटन में पहले ऐसे कभी इंसिडेंट हुआ है क्या?
धीरज, बलजीत, सबक इनके आते ये सब हो जाता है.
Hello there, I am Pratikshya Mishra, and you are listening to Do I Like It, a Quint production where we review anything and everything under the sun. And in this episode, I will tell you if I like Class. What is the main SOP of Class? Off the bat, like if you haven't watched it, it is the Indian adaptation of the Spanish series Elite. It was very popular. I feel like, it is a trope that a lot of shows have used. Pehle Elite, just Riverdale ho gaya ho. It's that ki acha, there's college life, everything is in excess. There's a lot of opulence, rich and everything. That doesn't happen in Riverdale, but Riverdale has its own issues. Elite mein wo hua tha. And here in India, Aseem Ahluwalia, Raghav Kakkar and Kashyap Kapoor have decided to adapt it. Now, does it hold up? I feel like with adaptations, you have this kind of danger ki, it'll compare to karenge hi, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But I'll mostly focus on Class. I like Elite. I liked Elite as a show. I really like crime thrillers that start off with like the crime happening and then kind of you see the investigation go through. With Elite and Class, it's a little different because you are not seeing the investigation. Not completely. You're seeing things happen. Like it's actually happening in front of you. So tum investigate koi karne ki zarurat nahi hai because they're showing you what exactly happened, right? From some reliable, some unreliable narrators. Before I get into Class and Elite, I want to tell you that you can check out our other episodes from this series, as well as our other podcasts from the Quint on our website or wherever you get your podcasts from. Also, I'm sorry, my voice has been randomly cracking like the past week. It just goes for no reason. I am so sorry about that. But yeah, stay with me. We'll figure this out. Class is set in a fictional school of Hampton International School in Delhi, in the posh area of Delhi, where essentially the students have never had to deal with the concept of poverty only. Like it's such a far-fetched idea to them that when 3 new students that aren't as privileged as them enter their school, their first response is to relentlessly bully them. मतलब जो सोच सकते हो वो कर लेते हैं. They find these people's, the lack of privilege, they find it hilarious for some reason and they exploit it, which I think is to be expected from the spoiled kids of Delhi's best school, quote unquote. Now, what happened is that 3 students, Dheeraj Kumar Valmiki, Sabha Manzoor and Bali Shehrawat, were transferred to this school after their old school got burned down. अब इसमें अलग से investigation भी है कि आहूजा builders जो हैं उनका हाथ था कि नहीं था, आग लगी कैसे, whatever. But we start off with this. All 3 actors, by the way, have done a great job. I feel like every actor, the role that they have been given, they have performed it brilliantly. And I love that about Class. What I also really like is that the protagonists of the show aren't the elite. They aren't we see, come on, it's pop culture. We see those protagonists everywhere. The kind of privileged heroes, going and fighting villains, yara. Oppressor caste people are heroes. They're cishet men, heroes everywhere. Here, it's so nice to see that characters are in that way. We see actual characters with actual problems, and those problems are delved into. The best thing about Class is that it deals with issues well. Matlab, kya nahi hua hai? Homophobia they're dealing with. They're dealing with substance abuse. They're dealing with Islamophobia. They're dealing with casteism. They're dealing with casteist violence, police brutality. Who is affected by police brutality? You see how marginalized communities are disproportionately affected by police brutality, and that is also explored in this show. True, if I'm nitpicking, I would honestly say that because they're trying to do so much in 8 episodes, it feels like there's no in-depth exploration of any of them. ऐसा कभी नहीं लगता कि इस चीज़ को हम properly explore कर पा रहे हैं. That I would say is an issue. But overall, I actually enjoyed Class. Like, it's such a guilty pleasure show in a way कि मतलब ऐसा binge watch type show है. And even within that, I think it's a little too long. 8 episodes was too much. I feel like I could have wrapped it up in 6. And I'm saying that as someone who did really enjoy the show. अब show में बहुत कुछ है. You see like, पैसा, हर जगह पैसा चल रहा है. There's drugs happening. There's of course a lot of sex because, teenage shows. Why wouldn't there be? And but yeah, there's a lot going on. We also see like mental health illness. We see fraught relationships between parents and their kids, insecurities. There's a lot going on. And even within this, we see some people who are just being mean for vibes. कि मतलब कर सकते तो कर सकते हैं. And the way that the idea of class or the idea of elite and the idea of violence, the idea of marginalized communities, all of them come together in this show. And how it starts affecting the lives of everyone involved is very well done. मतलब लोगों के सीक्रेट्स आ जाते हैं बाहर, दोस्ती यारी प्यार मोहब्बत सब ऐसे आग आग जब भस्म हो जाता है basically. And it's all like you're kind of sitting here and you're watching it all go just fall apart. As you're watching like a train wreck happen in slow motion, and you there's no way for you to do anything, but you're just like, oh, okay, just transfixed by what is happening. There's no way where you can be like, oh, this person is absolutely reprehensible. मतलब ये beyond repair है ये इंसान. मतलब we hate this person. Other than like the clear antagonists, there are clear antagonists in the show. जिनको मतलब you'd be like, हाँ, I don't care if this person stays in the show or not, to put it nicely. But everything else, all other characters have so many shades going on to them. The show's creators are not trying to like preach. वो नहीं बोल रहे कि वो ऐसा ऐसा होता. They're just showing you that this is a world that exists and this is how things happen, and you're supposed to form your own opinion from it. जो इंडियन कल्चर में या इंडियन सोसाइटी में जो सारे प्रेजुडिसेस हैं अबाउट एनीथिंग दैट यू सी, लाइक whether it be again class or sexuality, caste, anything, all of it is there in the show for you to see, right? एक और चीज़ ये है कि ठीक है, शो का all of these strengths are great. There is another thing, the way that it is shot, right? The cinema of this show is great in the sense that जो color palettes हैं, they're used very differently. जब हम दिल्ली का पॉश लोकेलिटी देख रहे हैं, दैट इज शॉट इन अ वे वेर यू ऐसी फीलिंग आती है तुम्हें कि यार ये ज़्यादा नहीं हो रहा है, विच इज़ हाउ यूर सपोज टू फील. मतलब लोगों के पास अगर डायमंड इंक्रस्टेड फोन्स हों और दूसरी जगह लोगों को खाने को नहीं मिल रहा, उनकी लाइफ ऐसे ही खतरे में है जस्ट बिकॉज दे वर इन द रॉन्ग प्लेस एट द रॉन्ग टाइम. दैट कॉन्ट्रास्ट इज शोन वेरी वेरी वेल इन द शो, स्पेशली थ्रू कलर एंड लाइटिंग एंड cinematography. I feel like I'm talking very fast about this show because like it's so many thoughts. There's so many thoughts. I'm so sorry. इसको slow करके सुन लेना. But it's such an outrageous show. If that's your style, I genuinely think you'll like Class. Because when I was watching Elite, I remember enjoying it mostly because it felt so out of my reality. Like the first few episodes at least, just the idea of that elite culture felt like something. It's not even aspirational. It's just कि wow, ये क्या है? And that kind of sucked me into Elite. With Class, what sucked me in was seeing the protagonists and being like, oh, they're telling actual real stories. Thematically, the stories that they're telling, you're like, हाँ, वो जिस जगह फोकस है ना, फोकस अच्छा है. जब शोज में या फिल्म में फोकस ठीक होता है ना, तब मतलब फोकस, इंटेंशन और जस्ट अर्नेस्टी के साथ ना तुम शो और फिल्म को बहुत आगे तक लेके जा सकते हो. And those are my many thoughts about Class that I try to cram into these. I'm assuming 9 to 10 minutes. Nobody asked me to. There's no time limit. It was just a lot of thoughts. Finally, do I like it? Yes, very much. I do like it. I do wish that it was a little shorter because at some points I was like, हाँ ठीक है, okay. 10 seconds आगे थोड़ा सा. But yeah, I guess that's not a huge flaw because again, you can fully just 1.25 exit if you want, But yeah, tell me your thoughts. If you watch Class, tell me your thoughts about that. I also watched a lot of other things this week. Almost Pyar with DJ Mohabbat. I watched Faraz. I watched The Whale, The Woman King. And, well, after all, Class. The Oriya film Daman got released in Hindi. Wade I watched recently. There's a lot. So if any of these things, if you have thoughts about them, reach out. Talk to me, comment under my post if you want. Let's have a discussion. And that was all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Do I Like It is a Quint production, executive produced by Ritu Kapoor and Shelly Walia, hosted by me, Pratikshya Mishra, produced and edited by Anjali Palod with music from Netflix and BMG Production. See you next time.
You were listening to the Quint's podcast.